The replicators are making steamed bananas. Jet Reno loves triple brewed Ractigino, hot as hell, hold the nutmeg. And Dr. Culver identifies an extremely large bone. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Seventh Rule with Cirroc and Lofton.
Why did I just get the way you said that?
What do you mean?
You just set me up on that one.
You've never identified an extremely large bone?
No, I've identified one before.
Yeah. So,
but
I did think
good.
that was very good. We'll talk more about that a little later. My name is Ryan T. Husk. Today we're doing a review. And by the way, this is the Seventh Rule with Cirroc Lofton. I don't remember if we said that because I got stuck with steamed bananas.
Hello.
We're doing a review of Discovery Season 4, Episode 11, entitled Rosetta. And Cirroc.
I think you got to change that backdrop, man. We got to move on from it.
Maybe you're right. We just got back from the Star Trek cruise, didn't we? This is our first episode back from the Star Trek cruise. Did you have a blast or what?
Oh yeah. Star Trek cruise was a big surprise for me. I didn't expect to see myself having as much fun as I did. And it turned out to be really an awesome time.
Wow,
Loved having everybody on the ship that we got to spend time with. All of our extended family, the Dr. Mohamed Noors, the Aaron McDonald, the Sci-Fi Sisters, TJ in the house.
Yvette,
we just had Yvette was there. I mean, just so much love, and the extended family that we have, man, it was a special thing. And I thought about this actually the other day, just yesterday. I was saying to myself, why did I have so much fun on the Star Trek cruise? And then it occurred to me that it is almost a replica of the promenade.
Yeah.
In the feel of walking up and down that main corridor where all the the shops, the drinks, and the restaurants and stuff. It almost has that feel of being on the promenade for me. So I grew up doing that.
That is so cool. Because when I'm on that ship doing that, that's what it feels like to me. I've never been on the Deep Space Nine promenade, but they even called it the promenade. And so to me and to the other Star Trek fans, we're walking, we're like, hey, it's like we're on the promenade, it's like, it's cool. It's fun. But it just is so much cooler to hear you say, an authentic Deep Space Nine promenade goer, to say that it reminded you of that. That's really cool.
You go get a Ractigino at Starbucks in the morning, or you go to the bar, do some gambling at Quark's. It really does feel like a promenade, and the amount of love and electricity that you feel amongst everybody, the camaraderie that's there. There's no judgment. Everybody can feel free to be themselves however they want. Whether in costume, without costume, dressed up in formal clothes or wearing, beach clothes. You can just do whatever you want to do.
Sure.
And everybody has that freedom to kind of, find their own personal speed limit that they want to go at. And that was part of the good vibe of just being around everybody. So that was
totally.
It was very special. Very special.
Yeah. There are people walking around with no shirts and Speedos. There are other people dressed like furries and everything in between. And speaking of clothes, we're wearing some cool clothes that we get for free from being on the Star Trek cruise, which was pretty cool. Like every day they would, when they would turn up our rooms, not turn up in the fun way, but, just turn up like a hotel does. They would leave us a shirt or a hat or a poster or whatever. So that was a really cool added touch. Makes you feel like, like royalty, like you're super important, or you're cared for. And, there are a lot of small touches like that, little additional things that made it seem like they were really into the details, really into, going out of their way to provide these extra details and make, people feel special and to make it more Star Trek. And, there was one of the venues was called 5 Forward, which was a brilliant name because it was on deck 5 in the forward of the ship. So it was super easy to remember. And it's just like 10 forward. Brilliant. That was easily the smartest name, whoever came up with that.
And the other thing I want to say is the people, the staff on the cruise were fantastic. Everybody
washi,
yeah.
The people that would say washi when you're going to the buffet.
Yeah.
They were amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
This was fantastic. The people that were cleaning the rooms were amazing. The guys in the hallways, was being security for the corridors, amazing. All of the people inside of the different dining areas, the service was impeccable. And the people at ECP who put on this convention, who organized this event, some of the things that they did that I thought were exceptional was not only the gifts that we were given every day, kind of waking up to a new gift bag of little goodies, but also the information. They kept everybody up to date with the scheduling, so you would have the itinerary of the days of the next day's event.
That was really cool.
Was left for you. So it leaves it leaves very little room for you to not know what's ahead of you, what are your options, and kind of pick and choose from the buffet of items that they had lined up for people's entertainment.
So what you're trying to say is, get out with ECP. So,
yeah, you know me.
Yeah. But I did one final thing on that. I did want to echo your sentiments about the people that work there. I was shocked at how they were constantly so friendly and nice and positive with no blips on the radar, no bad days. I was like, how do they do that? Like, I put myself in their position and was like, would I be able to be that genuinely friendly and chipper and offering assistance all the time? I'm like, that's a special kind of person. So I don't know how they train their people or how they select their people, but I honestly think that the people that work there get an A+. Like, no doubt about it. That's their greatest asset, I think.
Absolutely, including the people that were backstage helping.
I was just going to say that,
yes.
Including the people that were behind the scenes backstage, the production team. Shout out to DC on the production team of, I think it might have been 5 Forward. He was back there when you and I did our live podcast on there. Right? I mean, you say, hey, would you be able to do this? They go, yes. They say yes to everything.
Yeah. Can we get 2 extra microphones? Yes. Can we rearrange the chairs, the seating? Yes. Yes. Whatever you want. Lights up, lights down. Can you turn the lights off in the back row? Yes. Whatever it was that you needed done, they were like on hand, including water. Like, is there a water bottle? Yeah. Water bottle.
And the production value, Tim Russ's band playing, they had an incredible light show going during Kenneth Mitchell's rave, an incredible light show going. I was like, these guys like spare no expense. This is not just you're watching a band play. It's like you are experiencing a concert,
Yes.
Fantastic.
Including the fog and they're like the full out special effects of putting on these shows. And so, yes, it was all the way up and down, from production staff to the security guys that were letting us, who were checking our stuff as we exited the ship and came back on the ship. I just felt like everybody was exceptional, and they left a very good impression on me. Being my first time as this part of the Star Trek cruise, I definitely look forward to being a part of it again. It's something that they left a good impression on.
Me too. Yeah, and I was just going to say that. I was just going to say, hey guys, if it sounds like this was our first time on the Star Trek cruise, it's because it was. So we're like that was pretty good. But anyway, so check that out. They'll be back next year, but coming out of LA, which is pretty convenient for us. Let's talk about this here Discovery episode, which, by the way, premiered and played on the big screen at the Star Trek cruise as well. There's the big tie-in was that we were able to, whether you wanted to pop your head in for a minute or watch the entire thing, they played this episode on the big screen at the cruise, and it's Discovery on the big screen looks as gorgeous as anybody would imagine. I mean, this show spares no expense when it comes to special effects, when it comes to costuming, when it comes to art department, when it comes to makeup. I mean, they just put out a top-notch product when it comes to, the visuals.
Yeah, and I just want to give a little bit more background on the, relative to the cruise. That was another pleasant thing for me as well, Ryan, was the fact that we got to really be up close and personal with a lot of the Discovery cast.
Yeah.
And Wilson, I think those moments.
Wilson Cruz, right. Anthony Rapp,
Emily Coots.
Emily Coots, who no spoilers, but you and she duked it out in a family Trekkie feud, right? From Gaze in Space.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. Good fun. Yeah, good crew.
And
Kenneth Mitchell and Mary Chieffo.
Kenneth Mitchell, and Sonequa herself was there as well.
Oh yeah, and the lead of the show, the star of the show,
and the captain of the show.
Was amazing during Kenneth Mitchell's rave. She was dancing like nobody's business. It was awesome.
Yes, and that's another thing that I felt was special, because getting to know the cast member even more, and the more time you spend together, the more you get to know these people, and you really say to yourself, these are really wonderful people, and I'm rooting for Kenneth, I'm rooting for Wilson, I'm rooting for Emily, I'm rooting for Sonequa. I think these people are just fantastic. And
not Emily though. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm rooting for her when she's not whooping my butt in the game.
Whooping your butt.
And just, the moments of just spending the time with them, it just makes you really understand also the characters that they play, and kind of, connect with characters better. I feel like as I watch them now, I'm saying to myself, okay, so now that I know how Wilson is in person, now I get his character even more. And it was special to be able to share those moments with everybody.
That's a great point. And I believe it was Anthony that sang the Breakfast Club song, which was just on during karaoke, which was just nuts. That was awesome. But anyway, so yeah, we could go on forever about that kind of stuff, and maybe we will someday, or it'll keep coming out in bits and pieces. But needless to say, it's a very great memory. Really, really great stuff. So
yes.
There were a few things in this episode that really stood out. First of all, was these awesome outfits that they're coming out. They look like they're, backup dancers for Michael Jackson, basically. Right? Yeah. They look all sleek.
Well, that's the Rhythm Nation. That's actually Janet Jackson's
you're right.
Rhythm Nation
you're right.
Video.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's the obligatory slow walk. Earlier, I had the different background, but it's because they kind of reminded me of the same thing, where it's like,
they line 4 people up in the same
and
shot.
The slow motion walk,
Yeah, yeah, and I think that is a little cliche. Those kinds of shots. I was thinking to myself, when you see the 4 people lined up exactly like that, they're thinking cast photos or something. I'm thinking, okay, that's the photo I want to autograph. I want Wilson's, right. Emily,
In the words of the great Darth Shuey, any group looks cool walking in slow motion. And it's true. It's true. Like it just looks cool. There's walking down the corridor in their sleek outfits, look great. Yeah. But the part that I watched on the cruise itself on the big screen was when they were on the planet and there was all the crazy stuff going on. So I definitely picked the right time to pop my head in, because that scene looked amazing, right? When they're on the planet and there's the hallucinations and they have they're all lit up in their body suits. Their costume, their wardrobe department just never ceases to look amazing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was really looking at those spacesuits that they were in. Really loved the lighting on it. So it
Yeah.
had a kind of a V-neck lighting that was plunged on the front, and also certain lighting that was around the outer shell of the helmet itself. But in addition to that, if you look, you could see Saru's face really illuminated in there. And I was thinking, oh, there are small lights on the inside of the helmet, literally acting as a personal lighting rig for each one of the actors, so that their face could be illuminated. And I thought, wow, that's lighting incorporated with
well, which of course, since you brought it up, Cirroc, that's actually my.
Oh, here it comes.
That's actually my. It's time for the nitpick 74. It's time for the nitpick spot 73. Okay. How the heck are you supposed to see in a dark cave if you have lights in your helmet shining in your eyes? I know it looks cool for us. I mean, the answer, of course, is just for television. You know, the bottom line is
for television.
It looks cool because the audience needs to see the actor's face. But the funny thing is, the actors they can't see shit because they got a light in their eyes.
They got lights all in their eyes.
Yeah, that's funny, but it looked great.
It looks great. I mean, and the other thing that I thought looked great was the shuttle that they were. I don't know what kind of shuttlecraft it was, but it had this white console and it was almost all white on the inside.
I mean, it wasn't.
I was thinking, wow,
it wasn't great, but it was all white.
So yeah, I like that little shuttle, and it actually, when they landed, it cloaked, and cloaked slowly, so it kind of disappears in front of your face in different phases. So the detail is impeccable. I love the way that these guys are just building these sets, these wardrobe. The detail is just phenomenal.
Yeah. So here are a couple writing notes that hit me, and they're both kind of in the same vein. But one of them was, okay, you've got the story with Tarka and Booker, right? And I really like their storyline, and it really works for me. However, something that really brought it up, to a different level is when they said, General Ndoye, they were saying, remember, she voted on our side. She was one of the few that agreed with us. We need to contact her because she might still be on our side. She's like a sympathizer, basically. And I thought that is such a good additional element to bring in, because if you just have the two people and their own side story doing their thing, that's cool. That works. It's tried and true. But when you add more layers to it and you expand it into a 3-person crew, then I just thought that was really good. When they did that, I was like, yes, these are the kind of things that make it much more interesting for a viewer. It's a much more layered story,
I 100% agree with you. Love the scene with Book and her kind of fighting in that little hallway where he's having to convince her. And, she puts that knife right up under his throat, like, give me a reason why I shouldn't. And he gives her a great reason. Yeah. And I love the scene. I thought it was a great scene. Once again, I agree with you on the idea that it's clever to bring that call back, because we do remember how opposed she was to the Starfleet's decision to go in that direction. So there was a nice recall, perfect use of her as an actress, because we want to see more of her. She has a very strong character, right? And there's something about her that resonates on screen that you're like, I want to know more from her. I want to see what she's about. And
you want to give her more of a storyline than just the contrarian of the main characters, right? You give her more, give her more, and give us more of her to understand her character. And they did that. They did exactly that.
Yes. And I also think that I also will agree with you that just Book and what's the other guy's name?
Tarka.
It's Book and Tarka.
Grand Moff Tarka.
Okay, yeah, I think the two of them kind of going back and forth needed more validity and credibility, and I think that adds to it.
You can't just do it for an entire season. You need more. Yep.
Yeah, you need more. And the other thing I think that is great about it, you mentioned resistance, and it makes me think of the Maquis. And that kind of, was it Cal Hudson and the resistance that he was putting up.
Love that, dude. Yes. That two-parter.
So this is almost so this has reminded me in a slight way of a callback to that idea that there are people who are in Starfleet who are also helping the resistance and don't like the way things are and kind of have their own idea for what should be done, and they're going to go ahead and take action towards that. So another great callback for why they brought that in, and I think it works. Yeah, General Endoy.
Totally agree. So shout out to Bernie Casey, who played Calvin Hudson, one of our favorite, 1 or 2 episode characters. Would have liked to see more of him, but if you can only be in 1 or 2 episodes and be that memorable, you did something right. That's for sure. So the other part I wanted to bring up, which is in a similar vein, was that Tarka then brought back Jet Reno as a hostage. And again, that just increases that crew. She's not a sympathizer, but it just adds to the crew, because otherwise Tarka and Book, they can't carry their own storyline for an entire season. You got to give them more. You got to give them, a sympathizer on that side. Give them somebody that now Jet Reno is also going to be like their conscience, maybe, where they're like, she might say like, you shouldn't be doing this, or, I see what you're doing and I understand it, but whatever it is, who knows what it is, or maybe she's going to trick them and say, hey, if you really want to do this, you should put that relay over here. And then they let her out and she does a little red alert thing to signify what's going on. Who knows? But it opens up all the possibilities. And so they did 2 of those things in 1 episode. And I was very happy about that, because it's really going to add so much more to what they can do with that, basically like the B plot of the season.
Yeah. And, we've talked about it a lot before, but we like Jet Reno
so much. Love her.
She's so, and you know what? She reminds me of, to some degree,
Tig Notaro.
Column. No. She reminds me of O'Brien.
Yeah.
In the frustration she has when she hates, she doesn't want to be there. She hates that she has to do this work. She's very good at it, but she doesn't, she's good at it, but she doesn't it's like annoying to her, And I feel like that's O'Brien's character to some degree. She's a lot more harsh than O'Brien, but I do feel like, the lack of enthusiasm for work is equivalent to O'Brien, right?
That's a good point.
Yeah. But I love her character. There was a line there when they talked about the replimats not working, right? I think, was it Linus?
Yeah, our boy Linus, played by David Benjamin Tomlinson, our good buddy David. Yeah, always killing it.
And he finally got, we got to hear him say something instead of just being in the foreground or background. But that moment where Linus, says, "Hey, replimats giving out bananas,
steamy banana."
Yeah. And I think he said it's bananas, BANANAS. But there you go. There you go. Pinkies up, ladies and gentlemen.
Steamed bananas, BANANAS.
Exactly. But like the way she threw the line away after that, she said, "Okay, guys, what did she say? She said, okay, we starved to death, without the replicators, we starved to death, so no pressure." She just
well, Jet Reno, I should say Tig Notaro, this is what we noticed last season. I mean, myself, I'm a little, I'm kind of a curmudgeon. I was like, okay, they're bringing on a stand-up comedian to do a legitimate acting thing, like, does it translate? Is it going to work? And she is an absolute natural. Like,
yes,
I don't know if she's taken a million acting classes and we just don't know about her, or if she's just one of those people that happens to be hyper talented, but she's a natural. She says the lines beautifully. They write for her well. She, give her whatever lines that you want to give her. She's going to nail them.
Yeah, she had the closer in this one. Yeah, didn't expect to be coming back to a hostage or something to that.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great delivery on that as well. And of course, she's like the hostage that you don't want. Because you really can't.
Totally.
You really can't tell her what to do.
You're like, you couldn't have brought a different hostage, a better hostage, like that kid or whatever.
Yeah, she's smarter than you, so she'll just pretend like she's doing what you say, but actually doing something else, and you wouldn't even know it. Except Tarka is pretty, he's a little bit of a self-proclaimed boy genius, so I'm sure he thinks he's smarter than she is. And that'll be another great conflict between the two of them. Their whole budding
battle of
who's
wits.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yes, that'll be a great conflict as well.
So we've got to hop over to the other half of our show, which will be the free-for-all. We'll hit that in just a second. But before we get to that, we want to give a very special thanks to our friends, Carmen, a.k.a. Skillet, TJ Jackson-Bey out in Missouri. We've got Bill Victor Arucan.
Arucan. Sorry. All right, I'm done. I'll stop.
No, don't be done. These are brilliant. We have Tierney C. Dieckmann, Joe Balsarati, Dr. Mohamed Noor, John Mann, Darlena Marie, Grandpa One, a.k.a. Tim Baum, Titus Mohler, Dr. Marie Segal, Eve England out in Wales, Homer Freezy out somewhere in New Yeezy, Yvette Blackmon, Tom also in the Big Apple somewhere. We've got Ryan Galloway, Christopher Collins, Erica Strom, Amy Renee Haynes, and of course, Dr. Susan V. Gruner. Stick around. We are going to hit that free-for-all right now, and we'll see you right back on the 7th Rule. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the 7th Rule. This is the free-for-all. There were no shenanigans during the break at all. Everything stayed very professional. We're here, of course, with the legendary Cirroc. Lofton, as always.
Hello.
We're joined today, obviously, every time, always, and thank goodness for that, Malissa Longo.
Hello.
Anne-Marie and Homer are here too.
Oh, hi. We're like on Gilligan's Island when they're like, and the rest.
Homer Freezy out somewhere in New Yeezy, and Dr. Anne-Marie Segal in New Yeezy as well. We're talking about Discovery Season 4, Episode 11, which was a fun one. Yes. It's entitled Rosetta. Oh, we didn't even talk about the Rosetta Stone. Oh, there was one Nam in this episode, I believe. A character that was mentioned that we did not see. Maybe we saw her and I just missed it. But Nilsson. They said Nilsson has the con. And
and they did mention Gray as well.
Okay, I missed that. Good old Gray.
Detmer did.
Oh, we didn't see Nilsson. We didn't see Nilsson?
I think we did.
We didn't.
If we saw Nilsson,
she popped on the screen for a second.
Okay, it's
possible.
Go to the
videotape.
Check the tape.
but they didn't show the bridge at all. So, oh no! But you know what?
They did at the beginning, I think.
But she was in the bar with another bridge character as background.
Ooh. I know. That's what I'm like. Ooh, let me.
So she was there.
Anne-Marie has flat out said that the only reason she started watching Star Trek was because she would ship all the relationships.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. It was
Christopher.
The other one that got in an argument with Bryce.
Reese.
Yes.
Reese.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too bad they're broken up now. Bryce is gone.
I don't know which is which.
Yeah.
Bryce is the one that's gone and replaced by Christopher, a la Walking Dead.
Okay.
And Reese is the guy that's still there, that's been there since the beginning.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
like the most wardrobe changes of all time in one episode. That's the question. Like I couldn't even get over it.
Changes. You're right about that.
Like every 5 seconds.
No,
it's almost to the point where I wouldn't know which outfit would be the defining outfit for these characters, except that I would say Culber would be that white outfit. If I had to
yeah, that's true.
One outfit, one headshot, it's the white one.
So what Cirroc is trying to say is he prefers a certain I forgot the line. What was the line that Jellicoe says? I prefer a certain formality. That's what he says on the bridge. Formality.
Cirroc's a real Jellicoe.
All right.
No, because like the original series and all of the other casts have had identifiable kind of consistent uniforms, so you always know, for the most part, what Kirk's going to look like or Spock's going to look like. Now they've changed in the movies and whatnot, but you usually get some kind of consistency. And with these guys, they're changing like 4 outfits in one episode. You're like, I don't know what they're.
I'm wondering if these black outfits are the Under Armour before they put on the spacesuits.
I guess, but these things were snazzy. I liked them.
They are snazzy, and the spacesuits were snazzy too.
I guess I always think of those blue ones from like season 1 as
the blue ones. Yeah, that's what I think too.
I think their wardrobe has gotten better every season. It just looks like they just keep outdoing themselves.
But the new spacesuits are upgraded.
Here's my question: did you see any? Like that thing there was the exhibit on the cruise with the uniforms. Were there any disco things there?
Yes, they had books, leather outfit, kind of long coat that he wears. Yeah, that was the one I wanted out of law.
I know. You look so good in that.
I know. I was like, this fits me. Hello.
I know. I underpacked.
Yeah, I like that book. I was ready to walk out with the book.
It's chilly on the
whole
deck.
mannequin.
I'll just wear it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They had Saru's outfit. They had one of Saru's outfits with his shoes, and you get to see that.
Ain't nobody gonna wear that out.
No. And you're not wearing those shoes walking next to the edge railing of a boat.
Oh my god.
No.
Although I heard that Homer fits in those pants.
He might.
Don't know where you're going with this one, Ryan.
I just
nowhere.
Into the side of a mountain.
Don't even worry about it. But no, the comment I was going to make about the shoes is that those platforms that he's walking on. I don't know about the ones particularly in the background behind you, Melissa and Ryan, but I'm talking about the ones that were on display. There was no heel, so usually when you have platform shoes. You have a large heel in the back to add for the support. So he's literally only walking on the balls of his feet because there
for 15 hours a day.
There is no place to put your heel on those shoes. So I'm thinking, how the hell do you wear that? Yeah, how the hell do you wear that? Oh my god!
You just need the stamina of Doug Jones. He's not human.
Right?
He's not human, and his calves are just beasts.
His calves are beasts. I wouldn't challenge him in a rock climbing event. He must be strong.
Speaking of calvy beasts, Homer, you saw this episode. What did you think of it, by the way? You've been unusually quiet, which means you're sitting on something big right now.
I'm on a yoga ball. But for this episode, I don't understand how you have a spacesuit that doesn't keep everything out. If you don't know about one thing, it gets in. I would think that could be dangerous.
Oh,
well,
we didn't even.
If it's is it like a biofilter, like kind of like the way that they do on the transporter? And so maybe it's like invisible technology in addition to like fabric.
That's my take on it. And then I would think, wait a second, does that mean they're also able to smell a bunch of stuff? Because I would think it would say, yeah, that's safe. It might stink, but that's safe. It's okay.
I wanted to bring that up.
Naked,
and we ran out of time. But yeah, they mentioned the hydrocarbons, right? And I got this flashback of like my sophomore year in high school, taking chemistry, and how terrible I was at chemistry. I was so excited to take chemistry, and I was like, oh man, I love science and biology and physics, and I'm so good at it. Oh, this can be a piece. And chemistry just went like that to my head. None of it worked. And hydrocarbons was the culprit that just did the knockout blow to me, where I'm like, I don't know anything about chemistry, and I'm too dumb to understand it. But the other part of that was really cool was we didn't talk about those bones that
that was freaking awesome.
They were bones had a very light density, so they were malleable and flexible like cartilage, and that was so cool. That was so interesting to hear, and I'm sure a lot of you had the same thought I did. My first thought was, Dr. Mohamed Noor, is that you?
Oh my God, Mohamed.
Like, is that you in there, Mohamed, with the hydrocarbons and the cartilage?
Oh my God, the bone talk was so cool, and also like
easy.
It just
turn down the bone talk.
Yeah,
Homer is killing me today.
Oh God,
it's the hat.
Bone density.
The hat and the yoga ball.
I am on a yoga ball.
Oh my God.
I have a yoga ball dance, but I'll do that after.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, sorry to derail us. You were saying about bone density,
it was
Emery?
so cool because like even among species on Earth, like birds and stuff, like they have different bone density from humans, and also within humans you have different bone densities, and like what that could mean also, like as you learn more about species, tendency or whatever, like how bone densities differ. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, guys. It's my fault.
That's good science information, Anne-Marie.
I was just really excited to hear Mohamed talking more about it. I'm bio-trekking in the Admiral later.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes, that is great.
When Ryan has to wipe his eyes.
Well, my favorite thing is looking while Anne-Marie is legitimately trying to talk about science, and the rest of us are all 7-year-olds just laughing, and she's like, she's trying to get this point across about science, and we can't.
Oh my gosh, that's okay.
Oh, good job, Emery. Good job. Right. You're the good straight
Dr. Mohamed Noor.
Great person.
Yeah, when this season's over, Mohamed will have to tell us if that's him. We know he's got an NDA about not talking about Discovery, but in a couple weeks, he'll be able to divulge all this stuff. And if he does have his fingerprints on that, then well done. That's awesome. It was very interesting. I loved it.
Yeah. But yeah, I kind of want to circle back to what Homer was saying about these spacesuits not being able to like protect you from some airborne allergen kind of thing. It just seems unlikely that you would design a spacesuit that would allow a particle big enough to see with your naked eye to enter into your suit.
Oh, Anne-Marie's given the face of she doesn't know if she agrees with you.
It reminded me a little bit of the Naked Now from the original series, but they actually had to have it go on their skin, whereas these suits in the future suck. And so it doesn't even have to go to the naked skin.
Yeah, but like our biohazard suits, a lot of times will there are different grades of how many things it keeps out. And even the best ones possible, still there can be like dangerous bioweapon chemicals that could even still penetrate it at whatever fraction of whatever it has to be in the air.
Well, and also if they're talking about pheromones are generally safe for humanoids, for us. I mean,
except for with Orions.
If
those are dangerous.
Yeah.
No, but if the suit doesn't recognizes the pheromones as non-lethal, then why wouldn't it let it in?
Mm-hmm.
If that I think that's right, and I think they were playing the suits to be smart suits, and they were playing up the aliens as being completely different from what we have experience with.
Smart suits is a perfect way to describe it.
Yeah, good
I
point.
like that.
Right.
Selectively
Trademark that.
permeable. I believe it's selectively permeable is the term for that, where it's not that it blocks everything out. It's that it's basically programmed to block out certain
SP25.
Look who did well in biology. Yeah.
Well, biology is cool.
Oh, wow.
Chemistry, I'll never, still to this day, no freaking clue.
I love a semi-permeable membrane.
Ah.
I like when Burnham tells Detmer, look who paid attention at the EV classes. I'm like, yeah, you guys all should have been.
I know.
This is life-saving information here.
Totally, especially when it's like not like when it's like it's a class to tell you something that's like actually life or death. Everybody's paying attention. Like it's not just a throwaway thing. But
now, if they were mentioning hydrocarbons, you can't blame them for drifting off.
No.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's like telling the pilot, I'm glad you paid attention in flight school. Like, yeah.
Glad you paid attention in asteroid dodging.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. It was just so fun to have like Tig Notaro back though too. Those scenes are just so well done.
Yeah. Well, and her delivery is so uniquely unique to her. So
amazing.
It's great.
And Linus was back with some lines of his own. That was great too.
I never expect his voice to sound like that. It always wait, what?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's so cute.
What do you expect it to sound like?
I don't know.
Like Kermit the Frog or something?
No, but you're right. It does. I don't expect it to sound like that.
Yeah, I mean it's weird since like I'd be shocked if anything came out of Morn's voice too, or Morn's mouth too. It just you just don't know how you expect it to sound, and it sounds like so like teddy bear cuddling.
There was a Lurian at the bar.
If you meet Linus on like a phone app, a dating app, and it's like, yeah, I'll meet you over there, and then you show up and you're like, what the hell?
Oh my gosh.
Warren's voice is this high-pitched helium-sounding voice.
Oh my god!
What are you doing?
Oh my gosh!
So Ruth said he had never felt, or he hadn't felt fear in a while. Like this thing made him feel fear and fear of death. I think he said.
I can sense the coming of death. Isn't that from like episode 1 of Discovery?
Yeah.
He used to say that.
Is that? Yeah,
before
so
he got his things chopped up, fall off.
Oh, okay.
Those things fell off.
Okay.
So like that was it used to be his catchphrase. So it was kind of crazy to hear him say it again.
I sense death coming or something like that.
I can sense the coming of death. Wasn't that it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Homer survey says.
He said something like that.
Well, then that's it.
Yeah.
That's a terrible catchphrase. I can sense the coming of death. Like I don't want that to be my catchphrase.
I'm not going to hang out with you.
Let's
You're not going to be the life of the party with that one.
What's his catchphrase now? Yes, sir. I don't know.
Where's Tarina?
Yeah.
They're so cute together. I just can't even get over it. It's so like middle school first relationship.
Yeah.
Stamets was like, oh
yes. Oh my gosh, Stamets' eye commentary.
Yes, eye commentary.
Relationship is
very
just
good.
The best thing ever.
Eye commentary.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Eye commentary. I like that. That's what I felt. It was like Bill Cosby selling a pudding pop.
So cute.
We've got to add that segment to the eye commentary of the day. Like who had like the best eye commentary in an episode?
Oh, that's very good.
Are you selling a pudding pop?
Like in season 1, somebody had done like a montage on YouTube of all the side eye from Discovery season 1 on the bridge, and it went on for like 10 minutes of everybody.
It's all
like,
Detmer and Washington going back and forth, right?
Them. It was just amazing. One of my favorite montages.
That's funny. Check that out.
But Saru got asked on a stroll, huh? Is he going or what? He might
did
make it
go.
halfway to first base.
Oh my
He
gosh.
did go. I know, finally.
I love all the mind games though that come with like Vulcans when they're attracted to somebody and then they pretend not to be, or Vulcan Romulans, like in public. So I love all of the like, is she shunning him or ignoring him or what? Or is that really how like Vulcans and Romulans show they're interested now that they're like being seen in public?
It's pawn far play.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I've met a lot of Vulcan Romulan girls then, because they don't know what to do.
Pawn far play. Oh my gosh.
On fire.
So we only have a minute left. Any final thoughts on this episode, buddy? Homer, you have any final thoughts on this?
Boy. We've covered it pretty much. Just a lot of uniforms to keep track of.
Oh my gosh, the cosplayers.
Yeah, I did appreciate how at least Detmer's I noticed was quite different than the other ones on the planet's surface.
Oh, I didn't notice
I'm
that.
sure. Yeah, hers had more of a gold type of color. I think that was going on with it than the other ones.
Good eyes.
On her helmet, it was more yellow.
Thank you. Yellow.
It was such a like encounter at Farpoint kind of like vibe on the planet, especially in this episode where like Deanna Troy's like, I sense danger, I sense like great unhappiness, and I had major vibes of that, which I actually kind of like the nostalgia.
You would. Nobody likes encounter at Farpoint.
Adira was really winning my heart with her the awkward scenes. I really love that.
Mm-hmm.
Love them.
Melissa, you look like you're about to say something.
That was my thinking face.
Oh.
That was a thinking face. No, there were some really interesting moments of that. I think the floating squid were interesting on the planet. I don't know if they were floating squid, but they looked like floating squid to me. And it was interesting planet, the way that it looked, and the bones, all of the bones.
Yeah,
it was interesting too.
I thought of Jurassic Park, so I was thinking these are,
there's
going to be some kind of futuristic looking dinosaur that's going to pop up. I was kind of waiting for that to happen. It did not happen. But really quickly, I do want to say that Lieutenant Detmer gave a quick reference to PTSD therapy and how it helped her. And I just like the way they kind of addressed that. We never really hear it addressed as much because we do know that a lot of these characters are suffering from PTSD.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about, very briefly, but she talks about the therapy helping her. And I just think that means a lot to a lot of people who are going to PTSD in their own ways, and how much the therapy can be helpful. So I just want to shout that out.
Yeah.
Especially, great point, especially because Adira was saying how tough and amazing and cool Detmer is. And so for Detmer to say, basically, yeah, I'm tough and cool and brave and whatever, but I have my moments of weakness too. And, and this therapy really helped me a lot. I think it's a great message to show that it wasn't just like somebody, crying or, shivering in a corner saying that they're in therapy. It was somebody big and strong and brave really saying that. It's a great point.
Yeah. Well, and I liked how they touched on that at the end as well, between Burnham and Culber. And he's the one shouldering all of these people's problems. And he himself admits that he's not okay. And then Burnham is like, well, who on this ship is and who would be? So I like that they pointed that out too.
Linus.
At the end. Oh, yeah. Well, Linus. Cool. But,
all right.
Detmer, you mean Jake Sisko's new friend?
Yeah.
Yeah. Emily Coots, she's amazing. I had a very good time with her on the cruise. I think she's a special person. Really got to know Wilson. I think he's fabulous. and just
knows.
over the top times. He knows, so he doesn't need my validation. But just getting to know these people, and Anthony Rapp, I got to spend more time talking with him. I think he's also a very sweet, genuine person, and it's good to get to know them personally and spend that time with them, because it makes you have even more connection while you're watching the episodes, and you feel that the characters are being they're writing for who the people are, as is in the case from all of Star Trek. In my opinion, they may come into the thing with a blueprint of what they want to accomplish, but as the shows go on and they see how people are and who they are, they start to tailor a lot of the stories and characters based upon the characteristics of the actor themselves.
Awesome.
So
agreed. That is good stuff. They were really fun on the cruise, and it's
just
awesome
so fun when the
to
cast
hang out
get to
with
know
them.
each other. Yeah, I love it so much.
Yeah. It makes us nerds very happy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we do have to run. Thank you very much, Melissa, Homer, and Anne-Marie, for joining in the fun and sharing in the laughs. Well, you guys were laughing. Cirroc and I were keeping it pretty slow and steady. We were keeping it very mature.
Poised.
Miss her, kiss her, love her. That girl is poised.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
No.
Okay, we should have cut it 5 seconds ago. We'll see you next time.
Yes. On the seventh rule.
On the seventh rule.